First up, here's a question for you. What do Arlene Phillips and Pamela Stephenson-Connolly have in common? Both started out in tights and tutus and still have a huge passion for dancing, so they've decided to join forces and bring a brand new Brazilian dance show to the UK. To tell us more, please welcome Arlene and Pamela. Hey, good to see you. How are you?
Very good.
Lovely to see you.
Hello.
Well, you look very Brazilian, I must say.
I know. Do you think I've been to Brazil too many times?
Well, you've been about 5 times, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But Brazouka, this is a dance story from the streets of Brazil, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely.
So how did you come up with the idea?
You know, Brazouka is also the ball, the football that they play.
Okay.
And about 3 years ago, I became absolutely addicted to Brazilian dance. And I know Arlene already was. So after Strictly, I wanted some kind of dancing to do. And I found my way to this incredible dance. I am still completely addicted.
Really?
And found some Brazilians that I thought were just the best in the world at everything that they did. Stuff we haven't seen before, all kinds of dance styles that hardly anyone has seen. And
There are a couple of brothers, aren't they?
There were a couple of brothers to begin with who were the inspiration for the story.
Right, okay.
But Arlene shares my passion for Brazilian dance, and thank God she wanted to be involved, and she's our director and amazing.
Pamela got in touch with me and asked if I would come and watch this group of dancers and see what I thought about it. And I went into this room in a hotel, a sort of, you know, conference room.
Yeah.
And there were this group of dancers. I had never seen anything like it because I thought I knew everything there was to know about Brazil.
I thought you did as well, Arlene.
So did I. But then Pamela introduced me to this zouk style, this lamba zouk, and the way of sort of this cross of styles is the most extraordinary thing I've ever seen, which finished with one of the dancers spinning all the girls as if it was spinning plates.
Right.
And I was just sold. And then we got together. We met all over the world. We met in New York. We met in Toronto. Wherever I was working, Pamela came, you know, chasing me.
Talk to me, Arlene.
Yeah. Develop the story. And together we've co-created this extraordinary piece with some dance I don't think anyone will have ever seen before.
Wow, that's coming from your lips. That's amazing. Because you've got a troupe of, what, 16 dancers, and you've handpicked them both as well. Poor dancers, that's all I can imagine in those auditions, having you two sat there.
Let me just tell you how many of them were from YouTube. Because they're all over the world. They have come from all over the world. And I spent hours glued. And then I would say to Pamela, look, I can see they can do one style or 2 styles. However, in our show, they have to be able to do every style. And they would go and they'd make their home videos of them doing all the styles that were demanded.
The thing is that they love to dance. They just love it, and they're not like professional dancers who, you know, everything's, you know, very organized. You know, you finish dancing at 5 o'clock and then you go and do a show. No, they just can't stop.
They cannot stop. They dance.
How funny that all of this has come from Strictly for you as well, because I know that you've both danced from very young ages. You were 2.5 or something when you had your first ballet lesson.
Step together, step hop. Step together, step hop.
I still can't even manage that, Arlene.
Sure you can, Alan.
But you didn't like it to start with, did you? And also there were occasions when you turned up with green shoes and everyone else had pink shoes.
Yes, well, by the time I was 8, I just knew I had to dance, and there was no money in the family, and I couldn't go, and I just was desperate to go. Eventually, an uncle agreed to pay for some dance lessons at our local church hall.
Right.
And my mother took me to the only ballet shoe shop in Manchester on Stretford Road. And I looked and I walked in, it was high ceilings, wall to wall, with pink ballet shoes. And it was my dream come true. And then on the bottom shelf, there were a pair of bright green ballet shoes that somebody had probably ordered for a concert that were on sale really cheaply. And my mother asked me to try them on, and they fit. And I remember having to have those because she couldn't afford the pink ones. And going into this church hall in my green ballet shoes with everyone lined up all around. And I knew that day when I walked in with my green ballet shoes and everybody went, that I was going to dance for life. Because if I could survive that at 8 years old, I knew that you know, I could survive anything.
But for you, Pamela, it was slightly different because you came to ballet to help straighten your limbs because you had polio.
Yeah,
is that right?
I had polio when I was a kid, which really dates me.
I'm not saying anything. we'll move on from that.
Rapidly.
Yeah.
But I'm so thankful that I had polio because I would never have been sent to ballet lessons if I hadn't, because my parents were very solid academics and doing something like that.
They were scientists, weren't they?
Scientists. It wasn't sort of the thing that you did in our family, but what they didn't realise was as soon as I was exposed to this, dance just, it had such an effect on me. It was something that was mine. There was a lot of pressure on me to achieve academically in my childhood, and it was such an escape. But stupidly, I gave it up, and I didn't do it again for many, many years, and so Strictly sort of reawoke that early passion, and I just went, oh, wait a minute. All these lost years. So now, of course, I'm making up for lost time. Arlene will tell you. It's like, Pamela, do you think you could stop dancing for a minute and work on the script?
I'm amazed you're not in the show. I thought you'd be on the world tour with them, you know?
Well.
Oh, really? Oh, right, we heard it here first.
There are sort of a few surprise moments.
Okay.
Pamela has worked so hard and is so incredible. And I do sometimes tell her, you know, can you put your producer's hat on, please? Just for a moment, because we need to discuss into this scene and out of that scene.
But it's interesting because you've had such a multifaceted career, you know, the writer, the presenter, the comedian, and now, obviously, dancing's taken over your life. But
and psychology, but they all go together.
Well, do they all go together? That's what I was trying to think before you came on.
Alan, you know, it's about following your passion, isn't it? I think you're really blessed if that's something you can do in your life. Arlene's always followed her passion.
And also, because I know you're also working on the Monty Python show, aren't you?
Yes.
Is that done? Is it nearly ready for us to see?
Oh my gosh, we've got the marriage of our 20 ensemble and the Pythons tomorrow.
Oh,
so
I
am brutalising the dancers, you know, because it has to be funny. All of the routines have to be funny, and there is so much dance in the show, often led by Eric, but sometimes different. One of them kind of lead the dances. So it's huge. I'm loving it.
Good. And of course, this is opening your show together is opening in Edinburgh.
Edinburgh
the Fringe.
on the 31st of July.
And then it goes on a world tour.
Yes, we're going to be in Wimbledon in September, and then South Africa, Australia, and then back to this country and elsewhere.
Is the fella going to come and see it? Is Mr. Connolly going to come and see it?
It's so funny, Alan. You know what he calls them? He calls the dancers my Brill Cream Lotharios.
Yeah, isn't it great name?
Oh, Pamsy and her Brill Cream Lotharios.
He's probably onto something there, you know, I reckon.
I think we should really call it that, Billy's Brill Cream Lotharios.
Yeah. Is he okay? How is he?
He's doing very well. I mean, he went through a lot.
He did,
and,
in a very short space of time.
In a very short space of time. And, but he's really doing great. I mean, at the moment he's doing a movie. He's done 2 tours since he became ill, so he's really on the mend. And his Parkinson's is so mild that it's not really affecting him, thank God. The best thing is that he can hear properly now, because he was having trouble with hearing, and now that he's had some treatment for hearing, he can hear the audience, and so everything's back on track. To be honest, I think he's better now than he has been for years, because he's got all that behind him. Bless him. But it was a shock. It was a
absolutely.
shock.
Well, give him my love, won't you?
I will.
Most definitely. And also, it's great seeing both of you so energised about this dance. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you like this.
I hope you come and see it.
Of course I'll come and see it. I was going to say, I'm a bit disappointed that you didn't get me to audition for the troupe, because...
Oh, well, let's see your samba.
Well, Arlene's seen my samba already.
I've seen his samba.
And look, she's still got that look on her face.
No, the boy's got rhythm, that's all I can say.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
You'll hang around, won't you?
Thank you, of course.
Of course.
Good.